Bobby roast beef.
Hey guys, Bobby Roast Beef here. Just kind of a little follow-up to episode number 2, the podcast that I had recorded with Megan Moynihan and Scotty Swan, as well as Irk, where the topic was The Office. Figured I'd just kind of jump in here before we get into our next podcast coming up, which is going to be recorded on the 27th of October. That's what our target date is. That's the one I've got on deck to kind of throw out there. I'll get into some of the details about that. And I figure, I might throw these like shorter episodes out there for some of you guys to kind of check out and, kind of keep that content going. But before we get into any of it, I first off, I want to just say I am blown away and absolutely humbled by the amount of downloads that this podcast has gotten. It's pretty amazing. I think a lot of that had to do that I finally had established connectivity with Google Play, as well as getting a lot of my social stuff kind of lined up, and also cross-promoting it on YouTube as well, the Bobby Roast Beef YouTube channel. So that has kind of been a great way to kind of get some people up and listening, and I'm also kind of blown away by people, like a lot of the trivia regulars, that don't really understand podcasts. They don't really understand the way that it necessarily works. They think they have to go to my website and stream it on the website, which of course you can do, but everybody who is familiar with podcasting does understand that the beauty of a podcast is that you can download it directly to your device, listen to it at your convenience, and if you miss something or you needed to go and get back to it, you can easily do that because you've downloaded it right there. You don't need to stream it. Makes it very, very convenient. The other beauty of about a podcast is that you can subscribe to it. So when there's a new episode, something like this that's kind of coming up unannounced, if you're subscribed to it, it already shows up right in there in your catcher, and you can just say, hey, here we are. I've got it. When I say a catcher or catcher software, podcasting software, I'm talking about lots of programs that are available. My favorite is Pocket Casts. It works out great. I use it on my Android phone. Very, very happy with it. I subscribe to a bunch of podcasts, and it's great to kind of keep up to with at least what a show that I like to follow with what's coming up for content, and then I can kind of shop through as things, because I'm not necessarily the greatest about keeping up with all of them. There's a very select few that I listen to regularly, but I definitely like that feature, and I think a lot of people, if they look into it, check it out. A lot of these podcasting programs, they're free. But I'm getting off topic. I'm blown away by the amount of downloads specifically. And I have to think that some of the people who are downloading are also subscribing. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am building some of the statistics so that I can see a little bit more detail as to where the audience is and things like, kind of what's getting the most attention as far as regions or countries, who's listening out there. And I definitely want to connect with you guys, and if you like the show, I definitely want not only feedback from you about what you like, what you don't like, things like that, just a dialogue to go back and forth. But I also want to offer up an opportunity for you guys to contribute if you are interested. So here goes. If you are interested in organizing a batch of questions, what I'm looking for are themed batches of questions. So I'm not looking for a mix of general knowledge questions or anything like that, but if you have a string of questions that you want to tie together with a theme, feel free to send those over to me and I can use them for a show. I can put some people together. Obviously, if you send me questions, it's not going to do me any good to have you on as a guest to take part in the quiz. But I can get people that want to come and partake in that theme, or I could just, surprise it on people, and I think it'd be really, really fantastic. So what you get out of it is I'm going to give you some Bobby Roast Beef swag for being awesome and contributing to it. So if you can send me anywhere between minimum of 15 questions up to 30 questions on whatever topics you like, and I will hold them and organize, rounds based on them. What I will do, I'll send you in return some Bobby Roast Beef swag. I've got right now. What I've got are Bobby Roast Beef travel coffee mugs, or as I like to say, they are fabulous for transporting and hiding booze at public functions. Yeah, I've got those. They're great. They're really, really double wall insulation. Just super fantastic. They don't heat up crazy. They're not the metal kind that get really, really warm on the outside. These stay cool to the touch. They've got my logo on there. So if you send me some questions, I'll send you one of those, as well as maybe some sort of a gift card or something as well with it, because I appreciate it. That'd be fantastic. We'll send those out once we get your questions in a round. So once we get your questions, when we use them, I'm going to send that out to you. It'll be fantastic. So how do you get your batch of questions to me? Simple. You can reach me via social media. It's very, very easy. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, or even Snapchat, you can get at me at Bobby Roast Beef. Very simple. At Bobby Roast Beef on all that stuff. You can find me on Facebook. Just search for me. If you're looking for a URL, facebook.com/DJ Bobby Roast Beef. That'll bring you to my Facebook page. You can like that right there, and then just shoot me a message. Or just send an email to my company email, rob@xzi.com. You can email rob@xzi.com a batch of themed questions, and when I use them on a show, I will send you a little care pack of some Bobby Roast Beef swag. What's coming up for Bobby Roast Beef swag? Well, I'm in the process of finding a company to do a Bobby Roast Beef pop socket. Why a pop socket? This is why. So realistically, when it comes to trivia, and you've probably picked up on this, is that I've used a very specific format for when I host trivia. It's the Speed Quizzing brand smartphone trivia format. The basic breakdown is this. Players walk into a venue where I'm hosting trivia, and instead of handing them pen and paper, what I do is I give them some instructions, or I'll have instructions on a screen, and they download a free app to their phone. Once they've downloaded that app, they then connect to my game Wi-Fi network after everything's installed, and then open up the app, punch in a team name, and they're connected through a local area network where their devices through that app will communicate with the game being played live right in front of them. It's the fastest, most reactive way to play. It's really engaging. When we use pictures, I send a picture right to that person's device so that they can see it. We do keypad style rounds, so they're answering multiple choice questions, or they're entering the first letters of their answer, or they're entering a number and then hitting the enter key to send it over. There's a lot of variables within there. The flip side of that is the buzzer, and that's what you guys are primarily hearing are the buzzer style rounds. There's a couple of really unique ways to do it, and we're going to show off some of the differences of how those things work. Really, once we get more than 2 players on the show at one time, I'm gonna switch the way that things are involved and add another layer of depth there with the way that the game is played. But you guys are primarily hearing the buzzer sound. So when you're hearing like the Peter Griffin buzzer from, the Peter Griffin Hits Puberty buzzer, or you're hearing the Boats and Hose song, or you're hearing, some of these other buzzer sounds, the Rick and Morty, things like that. These are buzzers that I just use in my game because they're fun and people like them and they request them. So I just create those games, and that's how it all works. So I use that as my primary method of gaming. And along with that, if you've ever seen one of the games that I do in a bar or restaurant, there's other elements to it. There's physical challenges, there's time challenges, there's all sorts of different elements in there that we have to keep the game kind of going and fun and exciting. So that's the product that I use, and it's been a game changer for me. It's just my preference. I've got, if people out there, they want to do pen and paper games, and they've come up doing pen and paper games. I get it. My opinion is that the times, they are absolutely changing, and this kind of keeps people engaged, and it's a fresh new way to kind of do things. And it's also awesome because I don't have to go and correct anybody's sheets. I don't have to go and calculate scores or anything like that. When we're in between it, when we finish a round, those scores are there. You get that instant gratification, and I can go and mingle and interact with everybody who's there at my event, and it's just awesome. But I'm getting off on a tangent. So anyway, if you're interested in getting some questions involved and sending some stuff over to me, contact me via social media. Send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook, shoot me a DM on Twitter, just tweet me and say hi. Absolutely. At Bobby Roast Beef, just about everything. You can find my Facebook page, facebook.com/DJ Bobby Roast Beef. Of course, if you want to share my website, you can contact me directly also at BobbyRoastBeef.com on the contact page. There's a form right there you can fill out. Shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for downloading the show, for sharing the show, getting your friends to check it out. This is it, man. This is really the podcast I've been really wanting to put out there, and it's pretty awesome. I'm glad to be able to do it. So what's next? Let me talk about after I released the last episode number 2. It was crazy. It was awesome. I'm watching the statistics checking in on my stats page, and I'm seeing that downloads are happening, and it's unbelievable. And over the weekend, I had done a couple of different games. I had rounded out the week with my regular game on Friday night, and then I had Saturday and Sunday off, and just kind of kicked it with my family for the most part on Saturday. Really, Saturday was a great day. We kind of cleaned up around the house and got a few things together. That evening, we took the kids to a haunted house. They had a really good time. My youngest, my 7-year-old, was like totally into it, absolutely loved it. The people at the haunted house had suggested that it was for ages, I think they said 16 and up, and I mean, that was a bunch of BS. It was fine. She had a great time. It was a haunted trolley ride. It was a fundraiser for, I forget what the charity was, something in Northern Connecticut. We had a great time. And after that, we kind of had come home, and my wife and I binge watched some really ridiculous horror movies. I think we watched almost all 3 of the Human Centipede movies. That's some time I'll never get back. But in between there, it had kind of dawned on me. I have been kind of blown away with this YouTube series called Hot Ones from Now We Feast. And it's a great YouTube little bit where what they do is they have a one-on-one interview. And during the interview, there are 10 chicken wings for each participant, and they just eat these chicken wings and have this interview. And the wings, the sauces that are on each wing, they get progressively hotter, and it's just something that I thought was really cool. And I was like, I'm really into this. I'm a hot food guy. I definitely know a thing or two about damn good chicken wings. And I figured, why not kind of incorporate that into the next episode? So here's what I did. On Saturday, I had sent a message out on my personal Facebook page and on the Bobby Roast Beef Facebook, and mentioned that I was going to do a riff on Hot Ones. But I was looking for people who were up to sitting in and eating some like extremely hot stuff. Got a lot of people that were really interested in it. So we may end up doing this again, but I was looking for people that wanted to get together on a specific date, and that's where that date, October the 27th, comes in. So on October the 27th, I'm going to be recording an episode of Trivial with Jonathan Idle and Lissa Hodnowski. They're going to be playing more of a general knowledge type round, because I had asked for some categories between the two so I could see where they line up and so I could construct something for them. And they gave me kind of really broad stuff. As a matter of fact, Lissa had given me more or less said like, yeah, pretty much all of that stuff works to one extent or another. And they were pretty wide open, like categories like music and food and I mean, one of them was professional wrestling. I don't know how into that we're necessarily going to get, but I'm going to construct around about 30 questions like I've been doing. And we'll put together a Buzzin' Classic style round where we'll just kind of go on. And I dropped a little bit of coin on some boutique hot sauces. I'm pretty impressed. I've got 5 of them that are supposed to show up today. Some of them are the hot sauces that are in the Hot Ones series. For instance, the Blair's Megadeth with Liquid Rage as the hottest one, at least for a certain number of time that was there. That one I have coming to me. There's one called Da Bomb. That one's coming to me. I have another one that is a mix of blood orange scorpion pepper, which I just can't wait to taste. And there was a couple other ones that just struck me as interesting ones. So we're going to use that as a little way to just kind of mix things up with this show. So if you're in Western Massachusetts and you want to kind of come out and see what this whole mess is all about, it's all going down October the 27th at the Tap Room in Hadley. The Tap Room is my regular Friday night venue. We're going to do the podcast recording immediately after trivia. Trivia starts 6 o'clock for the sign-in period. 6:30-ish, we go first question. A lot of folks have been showing up kind of late there, so what I've been doing is the first question for that 6:30 batch will be like a preliminary warm-up kind of round, just so people can kind of get into it. Because we do have a lot of folks that tend to show up a little bit later than normal. But I think we're, I'm going to do like I recorded the first episode. I'll probably just leave it live so everybody can kind of hear what's going on. And we're going to do this as we, go through the questions and can talk amongst one another in the show. We're just going to, go from wing to wing with different sauce and kind of see how it goes. I hope it doesn't get messy. I have the impression that both Jonathan and Lissa are into hot food. Like they can hang. I can hang for the most part. I mean, I'm not like one of these crazy people that, it's like is straight up taking pepper extract and like injecting it into my eyes or whatever. But I can definitely hang with some really, really spicy food. Maybe they can't. Who knows? And maybe that'll be the fun. We'll see. It's not by any means any type of a contest or anything along those lines. It's literally just for the fun of it. So we're going to have a good time with it. It'll be awesome. But once again, guys, I just want to really, I think it's amazing. Thank you so much for all of the downloads. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I would assume that you're downloading it because you enjoy it. There's a couple of episodes there. There's this one. We will have the general knowledge Hot Ones tribute. We're going to call it a Hot Ones tribute on, the recording happens on the 27th. So by the end of the month, it will be available. We might call it the trick or treat episode. I'm really, really psyched about all this. Just blown away with just so happy to be podcasting again. I think it's awesome. Really, really good content. If you guys have topics, maybe you don't have questions you want to submit, but if you have topics you want to suggest, I'm absolutely open for that. You can go to hit me up on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or I'm on Facebook. Just let me know what topics you'd like me to cover. Like I said, upcoming ones that we're going to be doing, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We're going to be doing Friends. We're going to be doing Archer. We're going to be doing, there is talk about a rematch for the retro video games. What else do we have? There were a couple others that are, I've got a list going. And I just don't have it in front of me, but I've got a list going, and a lot of people are into a lot of different things. And I'm always interested to hear what you have to say. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great one. I'll see you next time. Take care.